All right, so if we take a look here, this basically just reiterates what I just told you for a warm-up. Direct variation is described by the equation y equals kx, and k stands for the word constant, which is just another way of saying slope. And it also tells us that the k cannot be 0. Can anybody tell me why our constant cannot be 0? Addison, why?
I retract my answer.
Okay. Read why.
It's because it will always be 0.
Because anytime you multiply something by 0, you get 0. And therefore, if I'm multiplying something constantly by 0, my answer is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And that doesn't help me with anything at all. It also says direct variation represents a start value at 0, 0, known as our origin. And if we go through the origin, it means two things. Number one, it's proportional. Okay, I hope we're okay with that word. And number two, that we have no y-intercept. We started the origin, it means that we are proportional, and we have no y-intercept. This constant rate of change is described by the variable k and called the constant of variation. So right here it says, what is the relationship between the constant of variation k and the slope of a line? Hint, hint, they're the same thing. So it says, what is the relationship? It's the exact same thing. I'm going to prove that to you. Right here it's telling us that k is equal to 2x. Our constant is 2x. Well, if I come over here and I pick the two ordered pairs that it gives me, 0, 0, because we know we started at the origin, and 2, 4, those are my two ordered pairs. Can I find slope from those two ordered pairs?
Yes.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 4 minus 0 over 2 minus 0, which gives me 4 over 2, which gives me 2. So slope and constant are the exact same thing. Does that make sense? Okay. Questions there? Good, good. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit faster so we can get to the review, but if I'm going too fast, just slow me down. You won't hurt my feelings. Okay, so the slope of the graph is 2. Then it asks for the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Now, I don't want to talk about x-intercept. That's not really important at this time. But the slope of the graph, which is 2, and the y-intercept is 0 because we go through the origin. Is everybody okay with that statement so far? So then it says, to graph a direct variation equation, y equals kx. Let me rewrite that. If you wanted to know the x-intercept just because you were feeling like you wanted to know knowledge, the answer would be 0. Can anybody tell me why the answer would be 0?
Because it also goes to the
Yeah, great job. Because it goes through the origin, so therefore it's 0, 0. Okay, so this says write k as a ratio. Right, k as a ratio. Graph it. Then it says use the slope rise over run to generate more points. Draw a line through the points. Anything we don't understand about how to graph our slopes. We feel pretty good about graphing the slopes. Decent anyways. Won't be on your test specifically. Okay, I'm going to go to my next document real quick. This is where the actual problems kick in. So this is also on your Canvas page. It's just the second link if you want to pull it up. So I've got 3 problems for you. 3 problems. All right, so it says Sharon's pay varies directly with the number of hours she works. Okay, when we see the term varies directly, we need to understand that it is equal, just like it says up here, to the word proportional. Varies directly equals the word proportional. They're consistent. They're constant. They mean the same thing. If she works 6 hours, she earns $124. So 6 hours equals $124. How much does Sharon earn if she works 9 hours? Okay, so let me do this. Let's solve proportion-wise for this first problem. Then we'll solve with direct variation the next one. So what are my 2 quantities that I'm dealing with for this particular problem, number 1? What are my 2 quantities? Come on, y'all. I know Reed's got it. Somebody help him out. Help me out. What are the 2 quantities? Addison, what do I got?
The amount of money she makes and the amount of hours she works.
Hours over money. Does anybody have an issue with that? No? Yes, Mihal. Either way, it won't matter. It literally won't matter for this problem. I probably would though, and do it that way. I would do money per hour because that makes more sense than hour per money. But for this particular problem, it wouldn't matter, okay? So we know that for 6 hours, she earns how much, Jackson?
6 hours, she earns
$124. And then Kendall, if she works 9 hours, how much money does she earn? Don't solve it. Does it tell you? Ruger, help him out.
$100.
We don't know how much it is. So what do we put in a problem when we don't know the answer to it? Josh? An x or a variable. Does it have to always be x? It doesn't. Okay, now, when you're solving these problems, this is 8th grade material, which means that you can use a calculator. Okay? So your math should be right every time. But I'm going to cross multiply now, meaning I'm going to do 6 times x, which can anybody tell me what 6x is? 6 times x is? 6x, good. And then I'm going to do 9 times 124, which I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Does anybody happen to know that answer? If not, solve it out on your paper, do it in the calculator, whatever. Zana, what'd you get?
1,116.
1,100 and what?
16.
Are we all okay with that? Okay, and then what's my final step going to be? What's my final step going to be? Josh, what do you think? Divide. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is 8th grade material, so we can use a calculator. So you're going to do 1,116 divided by 6. Addison, did you download the calculator app? No? Okay. I will show you how to download the calculator.
Download a calculator app. I
I'll-
just use Google.
That's fine. You can use Google. That's fine. Zana, what'd you get?
186.
So x equals $186.
No.
No?
That's wrong. Because it's more than what she earns in 6 hours.
Yeah, but she's working 9 hours, so it should be more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I appreciate the reasonableness, though. That's a great way to check it.
I thought that was per, because I didn't get that.
Okay, thoughts on that one? Pretty easy? All right, let's go to number 7. At Tom Thumb, just out of curiosity, any of you guys shop at Tom Thumb?
No.
We go-
Sometimes.
We go to Kroger, so I'm just curious. Last time I went to Tom Thumb, I bought some meat, and when I was carrying it to the counter, blood was just dripping all down it, and it just grossed me out, and I didn't like that. So. At Tom Thumb, the price of a basket of potatoes. A basket of potatoes. You guys ever bought a basket of potatoes? Yeah, me either. Varies directly with the number of potatoes it contains. Okay, so we have baskets and potatoes are my 2 topics. A basket that contains 12 potatoes costs $4. What is the price of a basket that contains 15 potatoes? Can I solve this one the opposite way, the different way this time, just to give you some clarity? So we know our formula is going to be y equals kx. Are we okay with that idea? We always put money for y. We always put money for y. And so now I've got $4 is equal times our constant times 12. $4 is equal to our constant times 12. So what do I need to do to get k isolated or to get k by itself? Michal, what would you do? Good, we're going to divide $4 by 12. So in your calculator, you can just do 4 divided by 12. What did you get?
3.
So that would be 12 divided by 4. We're doing 4 divided by 12. Rosie, what'd you get? 0.3 repeating. So essentially what we're saying is that it costs 33 cents per potato. Does that make sense? So K is equal to 0.333 repeating. Okay, so now I'm going to plug this back into my equation, but I know what K is now. It now says, what is the price, which is our Y value, so we're looking for Y. What is the price of Y if we have 15 potatoes? So I'm going to take my price, which is 0.333, and I'm going to multiply that by 15. Questions on how I've set this up so far? Okay, can anybody tell me how much 15 potatoes is going to cost? Addison, what do you think?
About $5.
About $5. Now, I want to show you guys something. If you were to do 0.33, you're going to get a slightly different answer than if you did 0.333. And you'll get a slightly different answer than if you did 0.3333333. So either way, though, your answer should have probably been something like 4.998 or like 4.9998. Is that fair? Do we agree that's really close to $5? And do we agree that as I grade your assignments, I always give you leeway on those types of roundings? So don't stress about that. Okay? What I'd like you to do now is, number 3 is the simplest question on here. I've given you 2 methods to solve this. Independently, because I want to see where you're at, I would like you to solve question number 3 on your own real quick. You've got 2 methods on the screen. I don't care which one you use, but I want to see how well we're understanding direct variation. When you have your answer, please go ahead and raise your hand. Don't shout out. I want to give people ample amount of time to solve this, but I want to make sure that we are gauging it though. Feeling good about it? Good. Okay, 3 answers so far. Excuse me. Just out of curiosity, anybody totally lost? Yeah? Okay. Appreciate the honesty. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to solve it both ways just to show you. So proportional, this time it's not giving me topics, but it is giving me x and y's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up x and y on my proportions. Are we okay with that? And it tells me that if x is equal to 12 and y is equal to 4, what is the value of y when x is 15? And this is going to be my blank right here. Are we okay with how I set up that proportion, Mariah? Okay. So 12 times y is 12y. 15 times 4 is 60. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 12. And y is going to equal 5. Is that all we got? Okay, Mariah, you understand how I did that way? Let me show you the other way just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to come up here just to get the full picture. So I'm going to have y, 4, is equal to k times 12. I'm going to divide both sides by 12. And 4 divided by 12 is going to give me what?
3.
Again, it's going to give me 0.333 repeating. And then I'm going to set it up this way, Mariah. Y is equal to 0.333 repeating times 15. And so y is going to equal 5. Where are you lost? Talk to me.
No, I
Okay. Yes, sir.
This question was basically the second question.
Just, it took away the wording and just gave you the x and y, right? Isn't it kind of nice, though, when they're that similar and it makes it a little easier for you? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go to the review.